Welcome to this slightly more advanced guitar lesson looking at Bob Dylan's You Ain't Going Nowhere. So what we're going to do in this lesson is learn how to play the song using your thumb and your index finger rather than using a pick. And the pattern I'm going to teach you to play is this. So I'll demo it first for you. Now, if you saw my easy lesson about this song, you'll know there are only three chords: G major, Am7, C major, and that's it. And you play a 4-bar pattern. So the first bar, the first 4 beats are on the G major, the next 4 beats are on the Am7, the next bar, the next 4 beats are on the C major, and then you go back to the G major for another bar, another 4 beats. So we've got that 4-bar pattern: G, Am7, C major, back to G major again, and it just repeats all the way through the song. So we're going to play a 4-beat pattern. 4 beats, 1 bar, 4 beats in the bar. And on the first and the third beats, we'll use our thumb to play a bass note. And on the second and the fourth beats, we're going to use our index finger to play the treble notes. So let's look at that using the G chord as an example. So on the first beat, we play a bass note, and it will be the 6th string. Now there's 2 ways you can play your bass notes with your thumb. You can use the nail of your thumb, if you have one, or you can use the side of your thumb, this area here. Which you do is personal preference. They will sound a little bit different. You may find one a bit easier than the other. If you play with your nail, you'll get a crisper, clearer sound, a little bit like the bass on a piano. If you play with the side of your thumb, you'll get a smoother sound, more like a double bass. And which you choose is up to you. I tend on this song to use my nail, but you know, other songs I use the side of my thumb. So you can choose. Anyway, first beat, 6th string with your thumb, the bass note. Now, you're then going to play a down up with your index finger on the treble strings using a flicky motion like this. So we're looking to hit strings 3, 2 and 1, flicking down and then up with our index finger. So far we have this. Next we're going to play another bass note, so we're on the 3rd beat now, and we're going to play the 5th string. And then on the 4th beat we're going to play another down up with our index finger on the treble strings. So we have this pattern. We're playing alternating bass notes, the 6th string on the 1st beat of the bar and the 5th string on the 3rd beat of the bar. Now when we go to our Am7 chord, the pattern is exactly the same, except that we swap the alternating bass notes around so that we play the 5th string on the 1st beat and the 6th string on the 3rd beat. So we have this. And when we get to the C major, we keep the pattern the same as for the Am7 with the 5th string on the 1st beat and the 6th string on the 3rd beat. Okay, let's practice that thumb and index finger pattern together. So we're going to play that pattern on the G major, then we're going to play it on the Am7, then on the C major, and then on the G major again. That's once through the cycle, and we'll cycle through twice in total. I'll give you a count of 4 and then you're in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go again. Next, I'm going to show you how to build in some hammer-ons into your thumb and index finger pattern. So it will sound like this. Let me demo it for you first. Let's start by asking this question. What is a hammer-on? Well, a hammer-on is where I want to produce two notes on my guitar, but I'm only going to play the first of them with my right hand, and the second note is going to be produced purely through fretting with my left hand. So for example, I could play the fifth string, the A string, open with my right hand, with my thumb, and then I could hammer on to the second fret with my middle finger, and that is what produces the second note. And in this lesson, actually, we're going to do two hammer-ons. One will be the one I've shown you, so play the fifth string open and hammer on to the second fret with your middle finger, and the other one will be the same thing but on the fourth string, so fourth string open, hammer on to fourth string, second fret again with your middle finger. Now the trick is that we need to embed those hammer-ons into our chords. So let me show you how to do that. So here's the G chord. Now the first part of the pattern is exactly the same. Thumb on the sixth string and then flicky down up with your index finger on the treble strings. And next we have the hammer-on. So we're going to take our middle finger off of the fifth string. We're going to play that fifth string open with our thumb and hammer our middle finger back on to the second fret like this. So far we have. And then instead of going down up, we're going to go up down on those treble strings, again keeping that flicky motion, but up down, not down up. So we have this. When we get to the A-7, it's kind of similar. Again, the first part of the pattern's the same. Fifth string with your thumb this time, and then down up with your index finger. And exactly the same hammer-on, so you're going to hammer on to that fifth string, second fret again with your middle finger. When we get to the C major, again the first part of the pattern is the same. Fifth string with your thumb, down up with your index finger. Now we're going to do the hammer-on the fourth string, so we're going to take our middle finger off of that fourth string, play it open with our thumb, hammer the middle finger onto the second fret, and then an up-down flicking on the treble strings with our index finger. So put that all together and this is what we have. Now I would encourage you to play with the techniques I've shown you. Don't follow them slavishly, mix them up a bit when you want to. So for example, you might want to sometimes alternate between the bass notes and sometimes do hammer-ons, a bit like this. Now you may want to also vary what you do with your index finger. So far we've sometimes gone down up and sometimes up down, but quite a nice variation is to do up down up, and that can work a bit like this. thank you very much indeed for learning this more advanced version of You Ain't Going Nowhere with me. Please subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the lesson, and then you'll be notified about all future lessons. Now finally, I've got a question for you. Of all the versions of You Ain't Going Nowhere, which one is your favourite? There's several Bob Dylan versions, one of the Basement Tapes, one from the 70s. There is the Byrds version, of course. There's a Joan Baez version. There's several versions knocking around the internet. There's also my cover of You Ain't Going Nowhere. I'll put a link to that in a pinned comment, so you can find that at the top of the comments section. Have a listen to that. Anyway, of all those versions, which is your favourite one? Let me know in the comments.